solo versus team. What's your advice for someone going solo, and when do you start hiring a team or growing the team? Or are you part of the camp that you want a team right from the get-go? And to give some context to Dan, I thought Dan was the editor of the channel, right? When I met up with him here in Seattle recently, he's just the When I say just a producer, I mean, that's an important role. And he's focused on storytelling, but does not edit, has a team. So with that being said, what's your thoughts about solo versus team? When do you hire? How soon do you hire? And would you ever just go at it solo, like long term?
I would say it depends on your positioning. For the most part, I would say it is worth getting your feet wet in all of it as someone who's just starting out. If you've never done any of it before, get your feet wet in all of it, because it's important for you to know how to drive the ship, right? So like if you're the captain of a ship, you should understand how that ship works, and you should understand how all those things work. You may not do all of the things in the ship eventually if you're the captain of it, but you should know how it all works. Because if you hire a bunch of people, things could go haywire and you don't know why. And you also should be directing. If you have a team, it's always going to take way longer at the beginning and way more work, and honestly becomes way more of a headache than if you do it yourself in the beginning. And it also takes finding the right team and the right people, and that could cause more of a headache. And then what you don't know is it just that it's not working, or is it that my team's not working?
Yeah. Never expect that they're going to do the work for you, right? Even if you hire someone, you're going to have to work to make sure they're doing the work, not because they're lazy, but because they really need your guidance, right?
Yeah. I mean, the worst thing to tell an editor or a thumbnail designer or anyone is, hey, you're the expert. Just go be creative. Like, just go make this good, when you don't know what it is, right? You need to be, you're the one who knows your audience. You're the one who knows the content. You're the one who knows. And this is why I say, like, you should know the language your audience speaks, not just the actual language, but how they communicate, the different ways. This will be how you'll know, okay, I know how this is going to get taken. We need to edit and adjust this to make sure, like in a Pokemon pack, like it's just say opening a Pokemon pack. If you cut anywhere once the pack is opened, the immediate assumption is that you did something to that pack, that you did something right to it, to whatever that result is going to be. So we would need to know the audience, like why, like we wouldn't want to cut once the pack starts opening. So an editor might just put that cut in there, and then I have to go back and say, all right, just remove that cut, because you could speed up the edit, but we just can't have that cut in there. So that would be things that you as the creator need to know, like, so that you can inform your team on how to do. So if you start by yourself, then I feel like that's the best. And then add as you find the bottlenecks for you, right? So maybe a lot of people it's editing. Some people it's not. Some people it's like, hey, I need someone who's going to do the thumbnails before the editing. Maybe it's someone I need to do just overall organization and assistant work. You figure out the bottlenecks as you go. Now, if you've just got a lot of resources and you have very little time, then obviously it makes sense. You need to hire some kind of team and put people in place, because your time is limited for you to be able to do it. But I would say most of the time, start solo if that's how if you're just learning. And then as you go, figure those things out, because you're still going to need to dictate. You shouldn't hire a thumbnail designer and they just handle figuring it out. You need to tell them what you want. An editor, you need to tell them what you want. Use something like Frame.io or whatever to be able to put notes in an edit, not just whatever they gave me, we're just going to upload, right?
So important.
So that's why I would say that way.
Even with my editor that I've known for over a decade, I still tell him the same things I told him in year 1, in year 10, and that's just the way it is, okay? It's nothing against his skills. He actually is one of the most skilled editors I know.